Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. We're presented by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Time to talk some Navy women's tennis with Casey Accola. And Casey, for you in this program, and obviously, I want to start right at the top. You know, Coach Puryear and Coach Alley have been part of this program from day one. They've built this thing from the ground up. To join a program and now have come through it here during your time, part of the great culture that they've created with Navy women's tennis. What is this been like for you playing tennis here, and obviously playing part of a great culture that was here before, and then obviously the responsibilities to maintain that culture while you're here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I know it's been my class year and the years before with the whole pandemic and everything, that's been challenging, but it's really special to come on a team that was started with Coach Allen, Coach Puryear. So I think just knowing that alone, trying to maintain everything that they've built, every year, I feel like we've done a great job, and knowing that, it's been really special. Challenging at times, but I think it's just been worth it every single year.
I was just say, I don't think there's any question, you and the athletes in your class have had tremendous challenges, during your time here. Was there ever a time where you wondered, hey, is this the right place? Is this the right environment? Or did you ever have any second thoughts during your time here?
No, not really. Because I mean, just being a part of a service academy as a whole is something that's so special. So I know that, like, tennis for me, I have done it for an extremely long time. And that's like something that it's like a love-hate. But I mean, even my time here and in high school, like, I've really learned to love it so much so that the fact that, our coaches and the team puts out like every single day, and we've tried to work through every single challenge that's that we've met, this past 4 years. I really have not questioned a lot, like, the importance to everyone else, and that's just kind of I don't know, really stuck with me. So yeah, it's the right place for me, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's face it. How different is it from the time you started, to this time now? And as you continue to move on each year, that leadership responsibility, there's more and more that's expected of you as you continue on.
Yeah, I think, when you come in here as a freshman, there's a lot to learn. You're really learning how to be a follower within the brigade, and then also on the team as well. So with that, every year you just are kind of a sponge, and you're learning a lot. And then you have this amazing opportunity to then share that knowledge with the classes below you. And so, being a firstie now, like, that's, all I'm trying to do is like help my teammates and my classmates in general. So, yeah.
How much have you learned from the leaders of each class that came before you through the years, and how instrumental have they been in helping shape you as a Navy tennis player and leader yourself?
Wow. It's a big question. I feel like I've learned a lot, especially like big picture, that it is so much harder than I feel like it looks from the outside. Like, when you're watching them and you're like, wow, they really have like everything together, like they know exactly what they're doing, and you kind of like look at them and put them on this pedestal, and that's a beautiful thing itself, because you push yourself to then meet that, because they're never going to ask you to do anything that or hold you to a standard that they're not holding themselves to. So yeah, I've definitely learned, though, that it's not always as easy as it looks, and that, throughout the years you do gain experience, but with that, it doesn't mean that it's any less challenging, or that you don't go through your own like personal struggles or anything like that. It's just a matter of managing that, and then making sure that you're also, showing up every day for your people, and putting on like a positive attitude, and really taking everything moment by moment. So
I love talking to athletes like yourself who are individuals within a team concept like this. How do you balance what is necessary as an individual in this sport and also balance, the team aspect, knowing that, hey, my individual performance is required to achieve our goals in terms of a team aspect. And let's face it, there's been a lot of success here with Navy women's tennis. So there's a culture of expectation every day when you show up for work.
Yeah, I think us as a team, we're doing a pretty good job of managing our own. Like we meet with Dr. Moeller. She helps us with like a sports psychology. And that's a great opportunity for us as a team to kind of sit down and really do a lot of reflection and get to know each other on a more intimate level, because like you said, it is very individual, but at the end of the day, we're all competing next to each other. So it's important that we really like recognize that. And it is like a team sport at the end of the day. But individually, like managing our own like mental state and emotions and our bodies as well, like physically, it's a very demanding sport. So making sure that everyone's kind of in the right physical and mental shape come match day has been key and really important for us. So
You played junior and high school tennis in a state where, let's face it, there's a lot of competition there. It's not as if you came from some, location out of nowhere and you were like the top player of about 30 in an area. What was critical for you? What was more important for you to find that success in the state of Florida and find, that success amongst a pool of literally thousands of tennis players who are all aspiring to do the same thing?
yeah, I mean, I was very lucky in high school. My parents let me do online. So I did a lot of traveling within the state of Florida and then also outside for different national events. And I put in a lot of work, a lot of hours every day on the court and off the court as well. So, I mean, for me, I learned to love the sport so much in high school. I think with the amount of time that I spent with it and competing, and really, I think the success came from recognizing actually that there's a lot that you cannot control in the sport. And this goes for a lot of sports. I think in general, people tend to focus a lot on, or they try to focus too much on the things that they actually cannot control, which at the end of the day is whether or not you win. I mean, you put in, there's a lot of things you can control, which is like your attitude, your physical effort that you put in. You might be only at 80% that day physically, but making sure you're giving that 80% that you're given that day. And then also like, you can't control how well your opponent plays that day either. They could play lights out amazing, but just having the mental fortitude and perseverance to like stay in the fight and realize that you can do it. Like just hang in there, and it can change on a dime. So it's not over. It's over mentality.
You brought up a good point there too, and I ask athletes this all the time. You can be great. You can have a great match. You can hit great strokes. Your backhand can be phenomenal. You can hit what you think are great shots, but your opponent might also be well that day. As an athlete, how do you wrestle with that part of it and not necessarily question, man, did I not play as good as I thought I did, even though your opponent may play better on that occasion?
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of tennis players struggle with, is walking off the court, especially after a loss. And we tend to be really hard on ourselves and think like, oh, like, I wasn't good enough today, or whatever. And, but it is so important to also give credit to your opponent as well. Like, because at the end of the day, they had to step out there. They had to hit that extra ball. So they're, give credit where credit is due. And, if you just didn't have, if it just wasn't your day or whatever, like that's okay. But just recognizing like, all right, there's going to be another match. Like there's other matches, and to really just reflect on what you could have done better and try to find some good. I mean, that's what I try to do after every match, is try to find something that I did well, even during the match as well. If things aren't going your way, it's very easy to get negative, because you're out there alone. So it's just you and your thoughts, and you have an opponent trying not to be against yourself as well. So trying to find the positives is huge.
Star match coming up this week on the road. Is there is that a factor that it's on the road as opposed to obviously on your own home court?
Yeah, for sure. It's always more difficult playing any school at their home turf because they're more comfortable there. But I know at the academy, some common theme is get comfortable being uncomfortable. So
Right.
we've been doing that for sure. I think the team is in a really good spot considering we just came off of 2 wins at Lehigh and Bucknell playing at their courts. And that was this last weekend was definitely a weekend of adapting and overcoming to adverse circumstances. We played indoor against Lehigh, and those courts were far different than our indoor courts here. And then outside of Bucknell, the next day, and outside's a whole different ballgame than inside. So having to take that for what it is and really go out there and just not let that, because again, that's something you can't control the courts and the atmosphere and all that stuff. So really just zoning in and focusing on those key elements that you can control. So definitely is a factor, but feeling pretty good about it.
I'll let you out on this. I've asked the other athletes this week. I'll ask you the same question. If you guys are successful getting that star victory, and I know as an athlete, you got to eat right and do all that other, fancy nutritional stuff. But if you get to pick a celebratory meal for you and your teammates, okay, what is that celebratory meal going to consist of for you and your teammates to celebrate a star victory coming up this week?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think the team really likes Thai food and Italian. So it'd have to be like either of those things. Like that's been, I think, common. We usually try to find like Thai food or Italian. So either one. And then team really likes ice cream. So I know after our Air Force win, we went around searching for something. I think I forgot what we got, but we got like ice cream after that. So that was super fun. So
absolutely. You have to find a Rita's or something between West Point and Annapolis on the way back. By the way, second time this week, Thai food has been part of the answer. So well done there. Casey, appreciate the time today. Best of luck to you and your teammates this week as you try to achieve another star victory against the Black Knights. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.